This thing is dangerous. This is not that one. That one there. That is a hungry node. Hello and welcome to another episode of Regrowth Reloaded. Okay, so we managed to get our seeds. Let me come back in here in chapter 9, the life of the world. So we got our Shimmerleaf seeds and our Cinder Pearl seeds in the last episode, and then we had to come in and do Taintroot seeds, which were crossbreeding the seed, the Cinder Pearl and the Shimmerleaf, to get the Taintroot seeds, and they had to be grown on tainted soil. So I managed to do all that. So as you can see over here, I've got some Taintroot in here. So it is growing. I do have them up to 10, 10, 10 now, as well as the other two. I'm just getting ready to get it planted over in the main garden area so that we can collect a bunch of that. I don't know how much of it we're going to need in the future, but let's do it anyways. So let's come in here and let's claim our reward. That's going to give us 2 taint tendrils and 2 tainted goo. Now I've got to be real careful with this stuff. The taint tendrils, if they're in your inventory, they will decay and give you and infect you with taint. So we got to do this kind of quickly. I'm going to go ahead and claim the reward, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to toss these 2 things in here real quick, just so we don't get anything off it. I'll have to. I scanned the tainted root already. I'll need to scan the tainted goo. I don't have my Almanomicon on me at the moment, but let's head on upstairs real quick. Something I want to show you there. So out here, this is the taint root that's growing. These are all 10, 10, 10 right now. I'm just letting them spread out. I unfortunately can't bone meal them, so I'm just trying to get a bunch of them so I have some seeds to hold on to, and then I'll get them planted in the garden. But over here, you'll notice that I took down all those trees, and I have just 2 trees here, and then I've got these 4 over here, which I managed to get from crossbreeding. So here is the silver lime. It finally did show up. There was, let me just show you this real quick just so you understand this. Silver lime. If we look at it, it's silver birch plus apple oak will give us silver lime, but there's only a 15% chance of that occurring. So it takes a while for these to happen, but I did finally get my silver lime. I also got this one here, which is called the mundane larch, and then this one here, which is beech, and then this one here, which is teak. So I got these 4. I do have a 5th sapling, but I can't grow it. Let me show that one to you real quick. It is in here. It's this one here, the Ipe sapling, but this one is a 2x2. So I only have 1, so I can't grow it. But that one is a cross between teak and dark oak, and that's why I took them all down just to have these 2, and I'm checking on this every once in a while, but I haven't seen anything yet, so hopefully we'll get something eventually. Alright, so let's head on over to our Thaumcraft area. I made a major change over there, so I need to show that to you because it's going to play into what we're going to be doing today. So, okay. Here we are. And as you can see, I've extended the area out in the back here. And I put in a 13 by 13 area. And I'll explain this hole in the floor is there for a reason. And then I moved the crucible into the center of the room, surrounded it with the stairs. so that it still serves the same purpose of protecting us from flux if we do have leftover stuff in there. So that's all I did. I just kind of extended this out, and then this is where we're going to be putting in our fusion crafting area, and then down here is where I'm putting a bunch of stuff for stabilizing. And that'll all be explained here, but let me just kind of show this to you. I'm going to dig down here, and as you can see here, this is just filled with wither skulls. It is a 7 by 7 area, 3 high, of nothing but wither skulls, and these provide stabilization for the arcane crafting that we're going to be doing, infusion crafting. This I learned from Hypno's playthrough of this. He did the same thing, and it was pretty much stabilized this thing. You don't really need much of anything else. We have tons and tons and tons of wither essence, so making these was really nothing. The hard part was getting them to stack up. What you have to do is you have to have 2 like this, and then this would be dug out like this. You'd place a skull up there, and then you dig this one out and place a skull on there, and then dig that out and place the last skull on the bottom, because you can't place them directly on top of each other. They have to be placed on top of a block. But when you remove the block, the skull will stay. So that is what that's for. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of stone to fill that in. We'll probably still put some other stabilizing stuff around the outside of it just to make it look nice, but everything that is done with this infusion crafting has to be symmetrical, so it's kind of a pain in the neck. But let's get on with this. So let's start with the let me go ahead and get this ready here, but let's go into our quest book, and we're going to go back into chapter 11, The Way the World Feels. And let's start here with this one called Breakdown. The way the Crucible breaks down items into their aspects is giving you an idea. What if you could fashion a furnace that could do this, but also keep the aspects stable long enough to distill them into a state you take into calling Essentia? A single alchemical furnace can support up to 5 Alembics. It will melt down any items placed in the top slot as long as it has fuel in the bottom slot. If Aluminium is used as the fuel, the distillate will separate out into the alembics much faster. Arcane bellows attached to it will also increase the speed it breaks down the items into the distillate. So, we need to craft an alchemical furnace and one arcane alembic. I'm going to go ahead and craft 3 of them though. 1 arcane furnace and 3 arcane alembics. And this is going to give us some Essentia tubes and warded jars. So, we need to come into this Almanomicon. I'm going to take a look here at this one here, Essentia Distillation. In the future, you will definitely need to have ready access to multiple different kinds of aspects, not just primal aspects drawn from your wand. Using basic alchemical principles, you have devised a way to break down objects and convert them into essentia. The first step in this process requires an alchemical furnace. The alchemical furnace works much like a normal furnace by burning coal to produce heat, but instead of smelting ore into metal, it breaks down objects into a slurry of raw, unprocessed essentia. So, we need to start with the alchemical furnace, and this is done in the workbench. So we need arcane stone, we need 7 of those, we need a furnace, and we need a crucible. Arcane stone, click on that. Arcane stone is a basic building material for many complex mystical constructs. It is normal stone that has been seared by elemental fire and strengthened by elemental earth. So it's 8 smooth stone with some type of shard in the center, and it's going to take 1 Terra and 1 Ignis to do that, and that'll give us 9. So let me come over here, and I've got a whole bunch of this stuff here. And let's come into our, oh, and I need a wand. I did charge up both wands. They are both full. So this one's up to 50, 50, 50. This one's at 25. Let's go ahead and use this one. And then I also am going to change into my robes. And I did put a redstone torch under this. So if you supply these armor stands with this, all you have to do is shift right click on it and it'll swap out your armor with what's on the stand. So that gives us a discount on this. We're going to need to put this wand in here. Now this normally, this has 90% now because of our discount. So it was, the other one was 110 with our clothing on. It took it down to 100. This one starts at 100 and 10% discount of having our Thaumaturge's outfit brings it down to 90%. So we're actually saving some on here. So let's see if we can do this. I'm going to put 16 in there. I'm going to go ahead and put 16 fire shards in there. 0.9, 0.9. Let's go ahead and craft these up. And there we go. How much do we have left? Still have quite a bit left in that wand. So we got a little over 2 1/4 stacks of arcane stone. Alright, so that's done. Next thing I need is, I needed another crucible. So I made a cauldron. Let me grab my wand here. Make ourselves another crucible. Put that back. Go ahead and pick that up. And let's see, do we have everything now? So we need 4, 5, 6, 7 here. We needed the crucible at the top and the furnace in the middle. That's going to take 4.5 aqua and 4.5 ignis. There we go. We've got the alchemical furnace. Alright, so let's take a look back in here again. And then it's, the next thing we need is this. The next step in the process is to make the Essentia slurry and distill it using an arcane alembic. To work, arcane alembics need to be placed on top of an alchemical furnace. The Essentia slurry will slowly be drawn into the alembic and the individual aspect Essentia is separated out. If the alchemical furnace is being powered by Almanomicon, this distillation process is much faster. You can stack up to 5 different alembics on top of a single furnace. The Essentia can then be extracted out of an alembic using files. So the next thing we need is, we're going to be making the alembic. And that's this one here. And this is a V filter, which is on the previous page. 5 iron ingots, 1 gold, and 1 bucket. And that's going to take 5 air and 5 aqua. So let's look at this. The V filter is silver wood planks and 2 gold ingots plus 5 ordo and 5 aqua. So I've got some silver wood here. Let me go ahead and take 4 of these. Let's just go ahead and break them down into planks. And then let's come in here, and I'm going to go ahead and let me just do half of this. And that was gold, was that correct? Or was it was the other way around? Let me look at that again. Okay, gold on the outside. Alright, so that'll give us 8 of those. Now let's come back in here and take a look at this. So we need that gold and okay. So I need more gold. Alright, let me run back and get some gold and I'll be right back with you. Alright, let's do this now. Okay, my gold. There. Put that there. That will give us those. There we got. Now have 16 V filters. All right. Now let's take a look at this again. Okay, so I'm gonna make 3 of these. So I need 3 gold. 1, 2, 3. 3 of the V filters. 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. There, and what was it in the center? It was the buckets. There we go, and there's our arcane alembics. Let's go ahead and grab those. Got those. All right. All right, so let's take a look in the oh, it only gave me 2. What am I missing on the other one? Oh. All right, let's do this real quick then. Let me grab this off of here. Looks like I'm out of aqua, I think. Go ahead and grab that wand. All right, let's try that again. One of those, bucket. There we go. Don't get our discount, but that's all right. There, we got the 3 that we wanted. All right, let's take a look in the quest book. All right, now what's it want us to do? Once you've got the Essentia made and sitting in the Alembics, you're going to need somewhere to put it. That's where the warded jars come in. To get the Essentia into the jars, you can either right-click them on the Alembics directly to transfer the Essentia, or you can use Essentia tubes to transfer Essentia from one Alembic to a jar. Though be wary of suction for different types of Essentia. Clogging up the tube. Maybe you'll eventually be able to do something with golems to make this easier. So it wants us to make a warded jar. Let's take a look at that one here. It's not in here. Let's come back in here, and we've got warded jars and labels. Essentia can be stored in warded jars. Warded jars can be placed in world and is able to store Essentia virtually indefinitely. The enchantment placed on the jars also makes adding or extracting Essentia a breeze. Jars can be filled from an alembic by clicking with the jar directly on the alembic. They can also be filled with and emptied using files. What is more, they can make an excellent storage medium for jams and preserves. Okay, so this is 7 glass panes and a slab, and it takes 1 aqua. So let's come back in here and let's go ahead and got enough for 4 of them there. Let me put 4 slabs. And let's go ahead and grab our 4 warded jars that I want to make. Okay. Set everything 100%. That gives us 8 Essentia tubes and 16 warded jars. Go ahead and claim our reward for that. Next thing I want to do is, since we're on this already, let's just go ahead and make the labels for these as well. So if we come back in here, warded jars and labels, we come to the next page. Shift clicking on jars and alembics with an empty hand will empty them. As long as the jar contains some Essentia, you can attach a jar and label to it. This label will lock the jar to that type of Essentia, and it will not be able to accept any other kind of Essentia. You can remove a label by shift clicking with an empty hand on the side of the jar containing the label. Take care not to shift click on any other side, as it will empty the jar as normal. So this is an ink sac or black dye or something with a slime ball and 4 pieces of paper. So let me grab some paper. And let's just go ahead and do this. This doesn't take any, we can do this in a regular crafting bench if we want to. So ink sac, slime balls, and paper. There we go. We have 16 labels. All right. Let's go ahead and set this Alembic up, and I'll kind of show you how this works. So I'm going to set it, I think maybe 2 away from that corner there. So we start off with the alchemical furnace, and we put it down there. And then you stack your alembics on top of it, like, not like that, but let's see if we can get it up on top of there. There we go. And then you put some type of fuel in here, which of course I didn't bring any with me. I wonder if you can throw these slabs in there. Looks like you can. And then you put items in here, and then it will break them down into their properties. So let's go ahead and put the silverwood logs in there, just for the heck of it, and let this do its thing. And then what it's doing is this is filling up, and then it's putting these in here. So that's got 4 Precantatio in it. This has 5 Ordo, or 6 Ordo, and that's got 6 Arbor in it. So that's how that works. So it's burned them all up. So we've got them in there, and we could take our jars now if we wanted to. We could take a jar, and we can click it there, and now we've got a jar of Essentia. You just go ahead and put that down here. Go ahead and grab the next one. Put it there. Grab the last one. And we can put it down there. And then we can put the labels on them. Where are our labels? Here we go. And that shows you what's in each of those jars. Now the files, which is another thing we need to craft. So let's come back over here. Let me get this stuff out of the way. And files, are they listed in here? Hopefully, there they are. Glass files. Glass files are capable of holding all manner of liquids and substances, but their most important use to be thaumaturge is the ability to hold essentia. So these are 3 glass and a clay, and that will give us 8 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. These don't take any of our essence to do this. Oh, I had 4. Alright, so now we have 32 files. Now these work the same as the jars, except they can only pick up, they can grab 8 at a time. And so if this has 8 in there, then you can pull it out and then put it into the jar, but you can't pick up anything less than 8. But you can use these, say we were doing more of our Nitor, where we had to have this stuff here, or for Thaumium, the Precantatio, where it took 4 of them. If we had 8 in this jar, we could fill the file up with 8, toss it in here along with 2 pieces of iron, and get 2 pieces of Thaumium back without any waste. So that's the purpose of this, and we're going to be getting some use out of it. And also the Essentia tubes that we got as well. If we attach those onto the side here, so let's say we put this here, we could actually get this jar here, pick it up like that, and we put it down here, and it would attach there. So this would pump the Precantatio directly out of this Alembic into here. So that's what those are for. All right, let me clean up my inventory, and then we'll work on the next piece. All right, let's get started on our altar. So what we need to do is come in here into Artifice, and I've got this opened up now, and this is Infusion. So let's take a look at this. Arcane crafting and alchemy can go only so far. Something better is needed to create truly powerful mystical objects. Infusion crafting is the process of infusing a single object with magical energy and the properties of other objects. You could, for example, infuse a stone with air, V, and a feather, and it would result in a very light stone. As is usual with thaumaturgy, things are not quite that simple. To even get started with infusion crafting, there are several things you need: a runic matrix, arcane pedestals, and a ready supply of magic in the form of Essentia. So this is the runic matrix. It's 4 arcane stone, 4 shards of any kind with an ender pearl, and 40 ordo. Do I have 40 ordo on my wand? Which one is ordo? Ordo. No, I have 14. Okay. So we're going to have to put a hold on that until I get my wand charged back up again, because this one here only holds the 25. This one holds the 50, but we used it all up on this other stuff. All right. Let me clean this up, inventory up again real quick, and then I'm going to take you on a trip and show you something that I found. All right. The other day I was out here just looking for more nodes to scan, things to scan in this area, and I noticed a couple of things along the way, and I want to show them to you. Hello, spider. Go ahead and take that string. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is going to head towards the red waypoint that I have set there, and I'll show you a couple of things. Just got to be careful. There was a big hole here I fell into. Of course, walking around with your thermometer in front of your face makes it a little hard for you to see, but we don't have that. Yeah, I think I fell in there. But, okay, we got a node here. Did I get that one? I don't know if I scan these or not. I'll have to come back and do that. But there was something along the coastline here that I found, which we'll see in a moment. But I found this thing over here. You can see it coming up in the distance, and I have no idea what this is, but it's an Obsidian Totem. I think there's some type of a thing here with a circle going around it. It's got this lava in the middle of it. It's got these obsidian tiles and this teleposer. I don't know what it is, but it causes pigmen to spawn. So I have no idea what this thing is. The next thing is just off in the distance here, and we've got to be really careful with this one. So let me head over here. Oh, there's another node there. Okay. But as you can see, there's a node right there. But let's stand back over here. I kind of marked it from this way distance because this thing is dangerous. This is not that one. That one there. That is a hungry node. If you watch, see how it's sucking things into it? The ground is starting to come apart and it gets drawn into it and it feeds off of everything around it. If you're not careful, you can get sucked into that thing and die. So I know that they can be pretty powerful. They have uses. I don't really know what I would do with it, so I'm going to leave it alone. But I know that I've seen other people, they have to kind of encircle it with obsidian, and then they're able to feed it to raise its power up, so that way it becomes a very powerful node. But we're not going to mess with that thing. I just wanted to show it to you in case you see something like that in your own worlds. Another thing that I found was this over here. Now, these are witchery items. They're wicker men. Now, this one didn't. This one generated for some reason over the water, or it generated and then the water generated in. So it's not complete. There's usually, it goes all the way to the ground, and there's usually a spawner, either a skeleton or a zombie spawner that's underneath this thing. So if you're starting off your world and you run into one of these, you'll know that there's a spawner there. Disable the spawner, take all the hay bales, because that is free food. So that's, a whole bunch of wheat for you when you're starting off. Alright, well that's it for this episode. In the next episode, hopefully we'll be able to get that infusion altar built, and I'll show you how that thing works. We'll figure out something that we can put in there to do. It's kind of a confusing thing to use, but we'll figure it out together. So until next time, this is Desert Rat. Have a good one. Goodbye.